Self-esteem comes from doing difficult things. People aren't afraid of failing. You're afraid of failing in front of other people. Most people are crazy busy but don't get anything done.
Want a sword? Get a mentor. Hey, this is Nina Carmichael, and this channel is created to help you overcome the #1 challenge that is holding you back: a lack of belief in yourself. You watch these videos because you know there's something greater inside you as well. You have Michael Jordan level talent at something. So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband Evan Carmichael, and how to win in 2020. Mentor me, my husband Evan. Okay, let's kick it off with rule #1, do difficult things.
Self-esteem comes from doing difficult things. You set a goal, you said you'd start doing something, and maybe even you do actually start doing that thing. But then you hit a roadblock. Then it gets difficult, it gets hard, and what you do in that moment will define the rest of your life. When it's hard, when it's difficult, do you rise to the occasion? Or do you let yourself off again, finding some really logical reason why you can't do that thing? It doesn't count until it's hard. You don't grow until it's hard. You don't build self-respect, self-esteem, self-confidence until it's hard and you follow through. I keep these in my office as a reminder of who I am in my best moments, my best self, to push me to do more and to push harder. What are these? If you're new to my channel, welcome, I'm Evan. I went on a tour at the beginning of this year. I did a tour, 23 cities, 90 days, and 2/3 of the way through, with a month left, I broke my neck. When I was in Denver, I fainted, I fell out of a chair, I hit my head against a wall, cracked the back of my head open, I had 3 staples on my head, I had a concussion, and I broke my neck in 2 spots. And after that night, I had to wear this. I had to wear this for the next, oh, I just noticed this note here. Nina signed it. I love you. Get well soon, Nina. She signed it. That's sweet. Aw, gotta go thank her. Anyway, had a little emotional moment there. I broke my neck and I decided to keep going on my tour. I had a month left. Everybody was telling me to go home. My agent told me to go home. My friends, my family said, come home, get the healthcare you need, relax, stay in bed, rest, you need to recover. And I said, being with entrepreneurs is my recovery. And pushing through and doing this tour is my healing. One, physical healing, because just sitting on the bed all day is not gonna be, for someone like me, something that's amazing. But 2, just pushing through and knowing that I can, right? It doesn't count until it's hard. It doesn't count until it's difficult, and then you get up and you do it. And so if you've seen any of the videos or pictures of me at the events, I went from standing up and moving around and having energy to then I had to sit at the front of a room with pillows behind me and an ice pack on my shoulder blade for 3.5, 4 hours in massive pain the whole time, answering questions and doing my workshop. And I was so proud of myself for doing it. That's how I built my self-esteem, by getting up and doing it, by showing up. And it inspired the people who came out. They're saying, well, I lived 25 minutes away, didn't know if I wanted to make the drive, I commit to it, I was kind of tired. And then I saw you with your broken neck still showing up, so I had to show up too, right? But that's not why I did it. I did it for me, I did it for myself. I had to wear this all day, all night long. This was my first one, and then it started to break, so Nina put some duct tape on it here. And then this was my second one that once it started to really wind down, I couldn't wear it anymore. I went for this one. And 10 minutes a day is all I could do to take it off for a shower. So I had to sleep in this. I had to do my workshop in this, everything. 23 hours and 50 minutes a day, except for a 10-minute break in the shower where I took it off and was paranoid about moving anything because my neck was broken, I had to keep it stabilized. I wore these. This reminds me of how strong I am.
Rule #2, attack the fear.
People aren't afraid of failing. You're afraid of failing in front of other people. You'll sing in the shower, but you won't sing on the street corner. You'll record a video, but you'll never release it. You'll be your own biggest critic, but you won't at the same time also be your own biggest fan. That needs to change, starting today. So my biggest fear is disappointing people. I'm terrified of disappointing people. The idea that you would come to my Thought Leadership Academy and I would teach you how to win on social media and get the ideas out of your head and pay $2,000 to do it. The idea that you would come and be disappointed destroys me. And it's led to some positive things in that I always over-deliver. I'm always obsessed. I'm always putting so much value to that. Even if you only get 10% of the value I'm giving, you still more than made the money that you invested into any of the stuff that I'm doing. But at the same time, it's still this fear. And so I want to attack the fear. I teach myself to attack the fear. And I think you should too. Even just attacking it for the sake of attacking it is good. Even if it doesn't lead to a positive result for your business, it's good because you're building strength, because you're pushing your comfort zone, because you're getting better, because you're growing. That's worth something. That's a ton of value. Because if you can conquer your fear of doing this one thing, that translates to every area of your life. If you teach yourself to have more courage, that translates everywhere. So maybe you're afraid of, if you're on a cruise ship and they bring up couples and they do a game show, you're afraid of what might happen on that game. Do it. How does that make you a better entrepreneur? It makes you 1,000 times better as an entrepreneur. Because that's the same fear that you face in your business. That fear of going on that game show on the cruise ship, that fear of taking your phone and recording a video in public on the street. These fears that seem like nothing, they show up everywhere in your life. They show up everywhere in your business. And so learning to tackle them, especially in low stakes, starts building the muscle.
Also, if you want to have more motivation and confidence, check out the 254 in the description below.
And what you need to do is inoculate yourself against the judgment and learn to take action on your ideas, because the alternative is a life filled with regret. Find whatever the smallest first step is, and then the smallest next step is, and continue to build those steps. And when you look back, you'll have realized that you made some pretty significant progress. And so I think an easy way to do it is actually to start documenting the process along the way.
Rule number 3, don't make busyness your habit.
Most people are crazy busy but don't get anything done. If you feel like you're crazy busy, like you barely have enough time for yourself, that you get to the end of the week and you know you've been hauling ass all week long, you've been busting your face in, you've been working and working and working, super busy, but then you look back and you say, what did I actually do this week? If that's you, then this message is for you. You're busy, but you're not focused. And shifting your life begins with shifting your priorities. So I used to pride myself on responding to email ASAP, quickly. Like, you send me an email, 30 seconds to 60 seconds later, you would get my response. I prided myself on, like, that's good service. That's what you should do as an entrepreneur, right? Like, people communicating with you, you want to send it back to them quickly. I hated having to wait on people, so I didn't want to be that for others. So I had all my notifications turned on, and as soon as an email came in, ding, came in, boom, response, go. What made it worse was people would then get my response. They tended to be on the computer at the same time. And then they write back right away and say, wow, you're really quick. Like, thank you so much. And that fed the identity, that fed the ego. And I am very fast, exactly, right? There's proof that this thing works. The problem was, I wasn't getting anything important done. I was working on something, and then the notification came in and I stopped what I was working on to go answer this email, feel great about myself, that little hit, and then come back to my project. Like, what was I working on? And it takes time to start getting back into the flow of working on that thing, and then another email comes in. And so I ended up being busy. I was working all day long, right? Like, lunch at the desk, breakfast at the desk, dinner at the desk, all day long, right? Washroom, back to the desk. There was no breaks. All day long, straight through. But then I get to the end of the day, end of the week, like, what did I do this week? I don't know. But I answered a lot of emails. Because I didn't have focus, I didn't have priorities. And when I realized that, after that happened enough times, I realized, wow, I'm never gonna get close to my goals. Like, just doing this, all I'm doing is reacting to other people's goals. When somebody shoots me an email, that's what they want. They're demanding my time. And I'm giving it to them freely because I have no defense around my time, because I have no respect around my time. I'm just letting it bleed out. There's no time for me to work on what I want, and so I'm not gonna make any progress on the things that I want. If you want to make progress on the things that you want, you have to carve out time for the things that you want. That's how it works. And you got to put gates and blockades and barriers around it and say, this is my focus time and nobody's allowed in. Now, worst case emergencies, family, awesome. But there aren't that many actual emergencies. You have to be willing to let the small balls drop to go for the big goals in your life. You have to pick. You can't do both really well. You have to pick. What do you want to be great at? Do you want to be great at getting every little small thing done and then never do the big thing? Or do you want to be great at getting the big things done and risk losing some of the small things? Because by chasing down the big things, you're going to lose some small things. It's just going to happen.
Rule number 4, surround yourself with success.
Raising your game starts with raising your standards. Raising your standards starts with raising your environment. And raising your environment starts with a decision to make it so. I just finished my 3-day workshop here in Toronto where I teach people how to become thought leaders and transform them so they can take the ideas that they have here in their head and blow it out to the world, start building a business, making money, having an impact. And I was super fortunate to have 2 people there at the workshop who I've known for a decade plus. Friends of mine who I've known for a long time. Typically it's people who fly in from around the world, but I was really grateful to have these 2 people here. And it was a really interesting conversation that came out of it. From both of them, and then that led to my wife and other people who I've known, said, over the last 2 years, Evan, you've really turned it up a notch. You seem to have accessed a different level. And I want to know how I can access that too. I know I felt it too. I mean, it's great hearing it from these people who've known me, but I know I felt it too. And maybe you guys have felt it too. If you watch back my videos that are 2, 3, 5 years old, you've seen a shift. I'm still talking about believe. A lot of the messaging is exactly the same, but the confidence, the standards, the expectations have gone up in the videos. I've gotten better. I care more. Now, how did that happen? I'm not some magical unicorn creature. You can do it too. It happened because I chose to continue to surround myself with excellence. With the videos, I make my videos for me. The top 10s, the mentor me's, this series, I make it for me. Because I want to be around excellence every day. And here's what happens when you're around people who are pushing the limits and doing amazing things every day. Slowly it seeps into you. It doesn't happen on a daily basis, but it's a cumulative effect. Where if you're around Steve Jobs and A.P. Giannini and my parents and Howard Schultz and Kanye West, if you're around them every day, if they're talking in your ear every day, if you're watching the top 10s and mentor me's every day, you're around it. Slowly, it's going to seep into you. The more you're around success, the more that success mindset will seep into you. It just will. And what that does is change your perspective and gives you more confidence and gives you more courage. And that made me step up. That made me go and do things that otherwise I would have been scared to do. That made me go and do this crazy tour of 90 days, 23 cities, when I broke my neck and then kept going on the tour. All of these things that seemed impossible to me at the time, that then I said, I'm gonna do it. The thing that gave me the strength and courage to do it is all of the content that I've been consuming. It's the people I've surrounded myself with who've had success that make me want to be more successful myself.
Rule number 5, a last one before a very special bonus clip, give more value.
Most entrepreneurs don't charge enough. You're so worried about getting rejected or losing clients because of a higher price that you'll charge just enough so that you stay just above the survival line. That's not how winning businesses are built. If you can't break your survival mentality, you'll stay in survival mode forever. So the first brand deal that I ever got was for $500 from a major telecommunications company, and they wanted me to write for their website. And they hired me, they hired 9 other people to write an article, and they said, write 300 words, we'll pay you $500. And for me, $500 at the time, I thought, this is great. It's amazing. I got my first deal, $500, this is cash. I'm pumped. But more important, I'm getting a link from a huge company. And for anybody back in the old school SEO days, if you get linked from a big company, that can mean a lot for your business to take off for rankings. So I would have done it for free just for the link. So they gave me the $500. But I didn't just write the 300 words because I wanted to give more value. I wanted to get paid based off the value that I could provide. And so I had to show them, here's how much value I can bring. And so instead of writing 300 words, I wrote 1,500 words, right? 5 times more than what they asked. And then I made a video talking about it. And then I also promoted it to my newsletter list, promoted it to my audience, let people know when that article came up, here it was. And so what happened? As a result of me doing all this work, I was the only one doing it. So when they came to the end of the series, I had my posts that were crushing it, and the 9 other people were doing what was asked, the 300 words, the bare minimum. What is asked of you is the bare minimum. That's your ticket into the door. If you just did what they asked, that's not enough. That's not giving them insane value. And so I was the only one that they hired. 10 of us went in. I was the only one who kept going because I brought them way more value. Now I started charging more for what I was doing. It went from $500 per post to $1,000 to $1,500 to $2,000. Kept increasing my prices because I was bringing them the value and they could see it.
Now I have a very special bonus clip I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, it's time for the 3 important landing questions. Time to go from watching the video to taking action. Here we go. Question number 1. How can you give more value? Number 2. How will you surround yourself with more success? And number 3. What's a fear that you need to attack? And if you made it this far in this video and you're still watching, we want to celebrate with you. Give me a hashtag believe in the comment below.
You need to be more impatient with yourself, but patient with the results. Flip it. Most people are impatient with the results. You want the money right now. You want the customers right now. You want the views right now. You want the subscribers right now. But you're patient with yourself. You let yourself off the hook all the time. You procrastinate and don't put in 100% effort. That needs to change. Flip it. Be more patient with the results and impatient with yourself. Because if you're impatient with yourself, if you demand 100% effort of yourself every single day, I guarantee you the results will come.
If you want to learn to hack your brain, check out the video next to me. I think you're gonna enjoy. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
To make a real change, you have to hate your life. Your environment has been perfectly created to keep you exactly where you are right now.